Add to stream. All right. What's up, everybody? Sorry I ran a little bit late. Kind of had to scarf down some food because, been fasting. Fast every day. Well, here, can you take that over? And so that had to go to Walmart, like all kinds of junk going on the day of, right? So hopefully you guys can hear. Let's go ahead and let's see here. Let's see if we can share screen. Share screen. Let's see if we can. There we go. Share. And let's see. I wonder why it's not. Oh. Probably need to go to the campaigns and not these tabs. So, versecomics.com. And that'll take us to the page. Is there any way to hide this? I guess not, right? I don't know how to do that. Live viewer comments. Okay. Let's see. Oh, wait. Okay. No, never mind. Go back to solo. Share screen. Vivaldi. And I don't think it's gonna. Is it gonna show it or not? See, I'm still new to StreamYard, so probably should learn how all that works. Let's see. Stop screen, full screen layout. No, that doesn't seem to work for. Well, let's. If anyone knows how to do the share screen, let me know. Let's see here. Application window. No. Okay. Well, let's just. Okay. Let's go here. Share screen. And then, that's how you do it. Okay. And then we go to the campaign. So I don't know exactly if I can't. Let me see if I can get on my YouTube. Okay. Oh, yeah. Gotta put myself back on the internet. Well, I guess I'm not going to be able. Oh, there we go. And turn the sound down. Okay. Go to my channel. Oh, there we go. So I gotta see what it's showing. Okay, good. It's showing the campaign. Okay, so Johnny's Law. When an elite assassin refuses to kill a kid, he must now protect him in a deadly Texas town. Let's see here. Fixed goal of 5,000. Johnny has come far from his days as a gangbanger to the premier hitman for the West Coast cartel. When old employers give him new assignments in New York, Johnny discovers he's being manipulated into breaking his only rule: no women, no children. Whose hand is pulling the strings, and why do they want a kid murdered? So this is what you're getting. You're backing an action martial arts gun fu wrath and revenge tale, 50-page graphic novel, full color. The artist on it is Ibai Canales of Iron Sights and Iron Sights two Psychos. Also, The Abductables, SOS Volume 1 and 2, and Tombstone Blues, his own work, Decimators, which is really, really, really relevant and great work. Great work. Lots of good humor in it as well. And other stuff, in the works. So here's the bundle here. And this is what you get. And you're going to get one 56-page full-color graphic novel plus the poster, which is by Johnny Segura. It is possible that may change just because I need to make sure that I have the full file. And I got in contact with him or got the whole thing started through Twitter. So I haven't seen him on Twitter. I'm not sure. What the deal is that, but either way, we'll have a excuse me, a really cool poster. The estimated shipping date is February 2021. So this, even though that this will be funded, hopefully, within, I put it for 60 days. There won't actually be any product until then, maybe a lot sooner than that, but I'm just trying to give myself enough time to get the color work done and the lettering, which is really all that's left that needs to be done. And I'm the one doing the color. Then the Johnny's Whip Yo Ass bundle, which is $35, and that one is the full color graphic novel, plus you get the poster by Johnny Segura, plus the trading card, which is going to be done by a surprise artist. I have an artist, but just kind of make sure that scheduling everything works out and for us to be able to get that. Don't worry, every time I used to stream DC Universe Online, my voice always did this. And when I made videos, I'd have to start over and over and over and over again because for some reason, it just starts to act up. I don't know. I don't get any love in that. This is actually the watercolor. It's hand painted on watercolor paper by Cesar Feliciano, who's the artist for the prequel. And that's 10 pages. Basically, we'll call it an ash can. Story-wise, it's a prequel, but it's an ash can. And it's digital first, and then we will release it in the book. And it's going to be in full color. So what I'm kind of thinking is I may release the digital so that we can just get something out to you guys. Release the digital in black and white first with the line art. And then we'll do the full color in the book. I think that might work. So we're going to work on, if we make enough money, if we hit, a goal to be able to put this in the book as well. But yeah, he surprised me with this one. I didn't even know he was working on it. He just did it. And it's magnificent, dude. It's beautiful. And I didn't even know the guy could watercolor. But it reminds me a lot of the covers from Milestone back in the day. For those of you who know what Milestone is. But Milestone was like one of my favorite imprints from DC. So when I saw this, I was so hyped, and it made me so happy because it had the look that I was going for, like that I really wanted to kind of have that essence surrounded in this book. This is page 1. It is more than likely going to be recolored because it does not flow well with the second page and so on. But this is the second version of the first page, and that's his armory in the background. And so what I wanted to do was to get, a certain look color-wise, but the first version was totally different. That one I did about 3 or 4 times before. Actually, no, I did that one about 5 times. And then I did this one like 7 times, I think, because I'm new to coloring. Like I've never colored comics before this. So this was my first outing, and I was just all I had under my belt at that point was like two courses on like Udemy for coloring. So that, and then this is the second page. And if you notice the way it looks where Johnny's on the phone right here, this wall in the back doesn't quite flow with like the coloring here. So in the mood, but anyway, that's the second page, which I really liked. I've always wanted to do this in a comic, to do that look that you get in. And I know in movies it's opposite. It's actually a stripe of light within shadow, but it's these bars right here over, that are casting the shadow. So, I just thought it made more sense. But this might get some touch ups too, because you learn as you're going, and there's some things I could probably do to it to make it even better. And then this one here, I actually just did some editing to the color. Well, I actually did editing color on this one and on this one. This hue coming in the window is actually going to be way more red than that. And this as well, the swath of light there. So the ninjas are descending on him. Ibai told me that he hadn't been asked to draw ninjas before, so he did, and he loves G.I. Joe, so he wanted, and of course American Ninja like I do, and so he wanted to add pouches and vests and just make them like, just give them a unique look. And I wanted that, but I also wanted kind of the hand from Daredevil, so that's kind of the look that we went for. And then of course here's the face off with the ninjas. Amazing poses. I mean, so good, because it's going down at this point. And then the vest with the little pockets and stuff you can see here. So now the fight goes. And, I've only shared so many pages because I don't really want to give away too much of the story, of course. So I just love the way that he puts the whole martial arts aspect in it. And Abai himself, his dad is a fighter. He's got a like a dojo / gym, and so he's also grown up with martial arts, in his life. So, it's really good to give someone like that the opportunity to just go off, and flex. And so this is actually further into the story, a lot further into the story, but I just added it because it doesn't really totally give away anything, but it's also a really cool page. So Johnny is behind her, and so, he raises his guns up. It's just this is so great. And then, of course, she smiles, and then he lets off and, lets the bad guys have it. And then really, really great dynamic energy here on this last panel. So I really, really love the way that he's so expressive, and you feel the energy. Like the image that one of the first images that he gave me of Johnny, if we go back up, this image right here is actually what I liked, is that he has the not the suppressors. Gosh, I forgot what it is all of a sudden. But anyway, he's got them at the end of the weapon, but then the slides are going back and the bullets are coming out at the same time, and so it gives that sense of the motion with him jumping sideways like that. So he's definitely good at capturing that type of thing. I don't think I have the audio on, so let's go back and I'm going to restart it again, and then I'll play the trailer. Okay, so let's see here. Stop screen. Let's bring it back. Share screen. Share audio. And there. What does it say? Okay. Hopefully you are not hearing yourself. We're going to start it again. I'm not going to play it at that quality. Yeah, well, I think you get the idea. So if you want to see it, you can go on deltaversecomics.com. That's the URL that's going to direct you to the campaign. Let's see here. Hold on one second. Oops. Stop screen. All right. So now, so here's the thing. Abai and Caesar both kind of have things going on, which is why they're not here right now. But it's all good. We're going to keep it moving. I'm not going to, one monkey don't stop no show. It's so horrible because this internet I'm using right now, I have to upgrade, but it's just awful. So anyway, so what else? What else can we show? Here, let me see. Hold on one second. I'm putting out the link to the campaign. Okay. One of the things that I don't like when you do these links sometimes with these like Indiegogo and other things is that sometimes it doesn't show the it doesn't show. Gosh, I should never scroll through Twitter when I'm trying to do a live stream. Oh my gosh, bro, you see some stuff you do not want to see live. Anyway, sometimes it doesn't show a preview image. So, yeah, there's that. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create just a three shot series, I guess you could call it, of graphic novels. So the first one is Johnny's Law, and then we do have the Ashcan, which is called Johnny's Law Ronin, but it's not really considered a full chapter. Then you've got the next chapter, which is Johnny's Law Rebel, and then actually the last one is just called the Master's Law. So what you're seeing is the evolution of Johnny the Killer into Johnny the Man, someone who has accepted who he's been and is looking for the person that he wants to become, and then becomes that person. And so just it's a typical thing in stories to do, but I want to make it interesting. So I want to get Johnny to the point where his method of attack is defense, and like the old Shaw Brothers movies and any of the kung fu movies back in the day, where the master, the young guy would try to attack the master, and then the master would just and slip and do all these moves and spin around and all that, and use his own energy against him and all that. So I kind of want to get him to that point, to where he's in a fighting situation, he's untouchable, basically, and so there's not much more that I could give out other than that. But that's the main theme, is him from becoming the killer to the man. But there's a subtext, another thread, and that is something I don't want to reveal yet. I'd rather you just read it in the first book. I think you'll kind of figure out what that's going to be. But it's something I feel that is not really. I don't see it in comics or graphic novels, really. Not that I can remember or off the top of my head, but it's definitely something I feel is important, right? And it's something that we should see more of in comics, And I think that that's going to add to the story, the texture of it. So anyway, let's see what I can show you. Let's see. Okay, let's see if I can open something, and then if I'm able to share it like that or not. Oh, I can show you. Well, they're actually it's in the art. So let's go down here. 3, that's page 4. Okay, so you saw this page here. Now this is the preview of Ronin. This is page 1. I get a lot of compliments on the colors in this and the mood, which is really what I'm going for, is mood. So to see the original, I should have put it next to it, but the original, and the line art, and then see this, it's definitely a difference, and a lot of people like that. I've had people like Kelsey Shannon and Christian Rossi talk about my color palette, and how balanced stuff is, and then I've had other people tell me about the mood, and that's I don't know. I just felt like that was something I wanted to accomplish. And also I wanted to come up with a style that's very angular to complement the work here that he does, as opposed to what I do for for Abai's work. If you can see, I'm trying to see something up close that we can see. I don't know if you can see here, on the shoulder on this left, or his right arm, but on our left side, the cut and grad style is some round with angles, and that fits with his work, because there's instances where he's stylizing a lot, and there are some I guess, bits of visual information that might not necessarily be there. And so I kind of add it in. And I feel like it balances out the artwork, if that makes sense, you know. So then we go down, back down here, and then this is the second page. Okay, and so this is Johnny back then. It's, oh gosh, what is it? I want to say it's 5 years prior to the current story. Like, well, not the current story, but where the story starts off. Okay, because it starts off at what is a, I guess, a present time, and then we jump forward from there more time. So you'll see kind of how it all works out. But this one as well, it looks really good before I added the shaft, the light shaft here. And I was trying to again create that mood, but once I did that, it really enhanced what I had already done. And then this is actually the next page, and it's how do you call it? I believe I did the flats on this one because I hired out to do some flats, have someone else do the flats for like a lot of pages. But then I think because they did it in Photoshop and then I'm opening them up in Procreate, that caused them to kind of be kind of wonky a little bit. So I may just go back in and redo all that stuff myself, which I hate. That's the reason why I put the date in February of 2021. So really was just trying to, complement the art and then contrast each panel so that, they don't all, look the same, but they're kind of tied together a little bit. And then this here is one of the, I don't have the finished trading card artwork for Abai, but he's working on it. But this is Caesar's trading card artwork, and this artwork plus Abai's, it's going to be a double-sided card. Now that's only for those who signed up for the mailing list. Okay, so I may make something, since the URL now directs to the campaign, I may make something like a URL for the mailing list so that maybe more people will join, maybe they can get in on it. I'm not sure yet. I kind of would rather just like, you had the chance to do it. That's just kind of it, Then the trading cards are going to be sent out for free. And then I've ordered some what do you call it? Wait, did I just do all this and not have it? No, I didn't have it shared. Okay. Well, that's kind of stupid. But anyway, here we go. Share. All right. So let's go back. Jeez. Okay. So here's that first page, and then you can notice a lot of the angular things that I did. This is not going that well, but it's all right. We're going to keep it moving. And then this is the second page, and I was talking about this, the glow of the light that's kind of enhancing the mood of it as well. And trying to add some contrast here. I didn't want to, like on this particular panel in the middle, I didn't want to like copy the same colors, but at the same time, I didn't want to, I wanted it to be him, like as if we're looking at a close-up of like a smoky light, but of course there's no reason really to have the smoke that much in it. So I just kind of decided to play with the background color itself, and then once I added the light over it, then it would do that. And then of course using the rim light, a lot of rim light from that light that's above. Okay, and then this is that next page, which is one of the most recent completed pages of Ronin. And let's see here. So like I was saying about trying to create contrast so that the panels don't all look exactly the same, but then they still kind of flow together. So balanced. And then this is a trading card artwork for that's by Cesar Feliciano, who did that artwork up there for the prequel, or Ashcan, or whatever you want to call it. The Bai's work is still coming, of course, like I said, and then it's going to be double-sided. So, kind of already know all about that. And then, of course, it just kind of goes through information about us and what we're doing and all that. And so we got stretch goals. 6,000 gets us the 10-page prequel, Johnny's Law Ronin, printed in the book, art by Cesar Feliciano. 6,500 gets us a 3 full-color trading card set. 8,000 gets $1,000 bonus for by Canales. And then 8,500 gets a $500 bonus for Cesar Feliciano. Of course, like it says here, for those that sign up for the mailing list, you get a digital copy of the prequel and a double-sided trading card featuring work by Brian. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the whole campaign there. Let's see if I can show you. I showed you all the stuff that's in the samples. So, yeah, I pretty much showed you all that. I don't want to really ruin the surprise on any of the other stuff. So that's pretty much it. I was kind of hoping some guys would jump in. Thank you, Tal. Welcome to the stream. I was kind of hoping some guys would jump in from my CG Delta group, or anybody that wants to promote their book. They should. Okay, Bai said he's going to be home in 20 minutes, so he'll be on. Let's see. So let's see if anybody wants to jump in. I know Adam Post is always promoting his work. He's really on top of that. Unfortunately I work a lot, so it's kind of hard for me to do stuff, but I'm really going to try to make an effort to do a live stream every day or every other day, and just kind of allow people to come in and hang out and talk about their stuff and do their thing. That's all I want, is people to benefit. I don't honestly I want my stuff to grow, but at the same time, I feel like helping others is going to help me as well. So that's very what should we do until I buy it? Problem? Hey, $35. Look at that. Pop. There she goes. There's the one. Showing the whole screen. Yeah. Pop. So we're already moving, man. One backer. Probably got the big bundle. So I didn't want to put a whole lot of tiers on there. I'm hoping there's a secret perk that I'm hoping to nail this, but or even those who back early. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, this is all new to me. It's my first campaign, so just kind of playing if I can see my pants at this point. Oh, the music that you heard in the trailer is actually it's music that I made myself. First it was comics, right, and then things were different back then, and how you had to get in the industry, and I got with people that we just never. It was just always false starts. So I started to get into rapping. I was writing rhymes, and then I got with people in the studio, and I could just kind of snowball from there. And I started doing music production and recording and all this stuff. So then it became a music career. And once I did that, 2018 was when I discovered comics gaming. That's when I was like, oh, I can do this book. So it's no problem. And I made it by, and it just kind of went from there. But I still dabbled in music. So I just did my track. I don't know. I just thought it was. I thought it was something that people would enjoy. So let me see if I can pull the song up here. And it's mine, right? So there's no copyright. So now, let's see if we can, I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to try it. I have no, well, I mean, I guess I could check it. It's open so big. Okay, there it is. All right, so now we've got it. And let's go ahead and just play it. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Sounds like static. Yeah. I guess you guys can't hear that. It's probably sounding like static. Whatever. I don't know. Well, this is one of the reasons why I like OBS better, even though OBS and I have had a very awful relationship together, because I couldn't at first, for some reason, and I'm very good with all this stuff technical, and you can see about it. I have all those subscribers up there. I got that from doing YouTube for gaming and stuff. So I know a lot of this stuff, but I'm not used to using like StreamYards and stuff like that. I'm used to just using OBS and everything, or mainly actually using the whatever they renamed it to for GeForce cards, um, the streaming and the screen recording and all that. I'm used to using that, and then OBS, so that I can set everything up in it and then hear everything. But a bunch of extra stuff, extra nonsense. What? Oh, here he is. What up?
Oh, yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
what's up? Sorry I'm late, man. But am I the only one to be here tonight? What's up? What's up with that?
So far, man, I've invited other people as far as like if they want to come in and promote their stuff or whatever. We already got one backer, so
Oh well, that's cool. How many is that now?
that's just one.
Oh, well,
It's just
hey,
one so far, but we just got started. We can't expect a whole lot.
it could be worse. I need a link for this live stream to share it with my friends
Oh yeah, sure. I
and
got you.
enemies too, because you
I,
you know I like to piss them off.
yes, exactly. Gotta make sure that we made. I like that. I didn't see your message. I have code. Okay, here I'm sending it to you in the private chat there on the stream.
I don't know. I mean like a YouTube link.
Oh, YouTube link. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, I mean, I can send it to Ren if you want, because that would be hilarious if she joined us.
Oh
But
man, I'm telling you.
I don't think she'll be up to it. But you never know until you try.
Yeah, I know. You are really, really, really serious though. Like you've been trying to go hard for her because of the whole situation like recently. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what.
man. I mean, if she wants to talk about comics, that's basically the reason why I'm on Twitter. Is because a bunch of feminists tried to shame me like 5 years ago, like
Uh,
by putting my picture and calling me a harasser and a rapist and whatnot. And I said, well, they're gonna talk about Canales. Canales is gonna have something to say about that. So I made a Twitter account, and that's my entire ethos. If someone wants to talk about me, I'm gonna be in the conversation.
right, exactly. Might as well. You already invited me by opening your mouth. So.
Yep, exactly. You,
And,
you have summoned me. I'm like that. I'm like that creature from the Lovecraft mythos, the Igolonak, that
yeah,
fat thing with like mouths in its hands. That's how am I. You say my name, I appear.
yeah, exactly. Is that the one that was, or I don't think they showed it, but they alluded to it maybe on in the Mouth of Madness.
I, I think there was something to that effect. Yes, that I
That
can't
was a good
remember. Oh,
movie.
shit. That was amazing. That was such an underrated movie.
Yes, very much, dude. I was like, wow, this. And every time I watch it, it's like it never gets old at all.
I know that's a quality that most of John Carpenter's movies have.
Yeah.
That you can watch like Assault on Precinct 13, and
Ah,
if it wasn't for like the video quality, like the image quality,
right.
it could have been shot yesterday, because
Yeah.
it's
What?
so it's so eternal, it's so perennial, so to speak.
Yeah. So what did you think of the remake they did? I think Ethan
uh,
Hawke was in it.
I
Who
never
else did you
bothered
like?
even watching it.
I
Shit,
saw it,
shit.
but I was like, what's the point? Like, it's not. See, there's a visceral quality to the original, right? And especially that one scene, with the little girl in the ice cream truck.
Yes.
And so it's it just loses the whole like power and mystique that it had when it was
There's,
remade.
I mean, the guys who made the remake or the reboot or whatever it's called these days, they basically didn't understand the movie. They didn't understand what it was about. It wasn't just about a bunch of cops trapped in a semi-abandoned precinct, like stalked by a bunch of like criminals. It was like a horror movie. It was a horror movie
Right,
for cops.
right,
So you
right.
have they shot the criminals, like the gangsters, the gangbangers. They shot them as if they were zombies or
Yeah,
ghosts or whatnot. They were like shadows.
yeah,
You could barely see them. And in the new movie, they gave them like a background and like cool weapons and uniforms and what. Then no, you failed. That's not
yeah.
scary.
What it is you're putting too much light on them. You know,
Yes.
you're allowing the dark is supposed to be where they come from and where they hide, and you don't know where they went to when they're in it. You know, and what you said about which is like struck me when you said about how uh, it was like a nightmare for cops, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Well, right before you said that, what I was thinking about with that thing that it has, right? And in what you said actually ended up lining up with what I was thinking, and showed it from a different from an angle the way you said it, which was better, which is Death Wish. Okay, Death Wish
yeah.
had that same thing, and so now what? Based on what you said, Death Wish was a nightmare for criminals, a horror
Yes.
movie for criminals. You
Yes.
know, um, that it wasn't just someone out to get revenge. It was them becoming terrified of, like Batman, like becoming
Mhm.
terrified of their comeuppance, the consequence of what they did.
That's something that I like about John Carpenter is that he makes horror movies for tough guys. Like in the Month of Madness, it's a
Yeah.
horror movie for edgy private eyes, like edgy atheist, cynical private eyes. That
Noir,
yeah,
noir.
they think they know, they think they've seen everything, they think they know better than everyone. They're like really world weary, and suddenly they run into this completely insane situation that defies all logic, and you go full Sam Neill, go. "Whoa!"
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and see, you just made me think again of what I was thinking when you first said it. This, just this extreme insanity type of thing. Is I think of that scene from Creep Show, the first one I believe it was, where they were supposed to be, I guess, celebrating their father's death or whatever, and then he comes in the
Yeah,
last scene with the head on the platter, and
yeah,
he's like,
yeah. That was like the father's birthday. Like
yeah,
he
yeah,
came
something
back
like
from
that.
the dead
Father's
to
Day.
get
I think it
his
was called
cake.
Father's Day or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I
he's
want
like,
my
"Where's
cake.
my cake?" Yeah, and then he
Yeah,
came in, and that's why I thought of it, because of the way that guy was like, "Oh my God!" He did that thing. I never heard anybody like do that kind of a reaction before, and that's why it just those two things combined. With the bisexual lighting or whatever,
yeah.
those two things, is just very iconic to me. So I thought of that when you were saying that. But see, what's so funny, because Ethan says that, speaking of the lighting and all that. But when I see that kind of lighting, I don't think like in the way that he's thinking of it. I think of it in that 80s, that 80s tone of trying to create something that was what they thought was comic booky, which it kind of was because of the coloring process.
Yeah,
And,
it was like a homage to like 1950s comic books. So
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
the really
exactly.
basic color palette and all that.
Yeah, exactly. And trying to get these, the weird woo effect,
Yeah,
but visually, and things like Ninja 3 Domination, and all of
yeah.
that stuff. I mean, what other ninja movie has the sword coming out of the thing, and it's like neon, and then there's the neon lights. Oh gosh, I
Yeah,
love.
that's a quality. That's a quality that movies have lost in the last, I want to say, 20 years. That people making them have become like really cynical and like not really invested in the movie.
Mhm.
And at best, they're trying to replicate what other directors found awesome. Like, I'm just gonna do this because this director that I like thought it was awesome. I really don't care. I'm just copying
Yeah,
someone else.
right.
And I guess that's why movies are dying. Not because of the viral apocalypse and all that, but just because movies suck.
Yeah, and because there is no more of make it bigger, make it better,
Yeah.
add more lights. You know what I mean? Like, and what you're doing is forcing people uh, to become creative in a way that they wouldn't have
Mm.
before. Now you've got CGI and all this digital stuff that you can do, and they do stuff, but like they have such a huge array of tools. It's endless what they can do. Even people that just do it at home on their laptops. So there is no more limit, like no more. I've got only this to work with. We've only got the budget
Yeah.
for like 5 gels, for the lights. So we can only do these colors or whatever. So then what happens? Script adjustments happen.
Mhm.
Dialogue adjustments happen. All those things. And well, we can't really work in this location, but that's the way it was written. No, let's just go over here and we'll rewrite it. And that's to me, like, that kind of makes me think about Comicsgate, because that's kind of how we do things.
Yeah, we're basically like guerrilla comic book creators. Like they used to be like guerrilla filmmakers.
Raconteurs or
spirit.
whatever that word is.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
sequential storytellers.
yes, because like someone was talking about some writing classes or something like that in like a comic book writing classes. Not for me. I just happened to run past something, and they were talking about that, and they were saying, oh, you've got all these people and peer interaction and stuff, peer review, and you get these professionals that know what they're doing, and so on and so forth. And my comment was, what you need is a good idea and a good editor, right?
Mhm.
Honest editor. And if you're going to learn how to write something or write stories, it's okay to read books and understand structure and all. I'm not saying that doesn't at all have its place. It definitely does. But when it comes down to it, right, if you want to do comics, if you get a good editor and you've got a good idea, then you just write it. Write it down. It doesn't matter if you know all the mechanics, if you understand. I'm not trying to, how do you say, advocate for, people who are making, whack stuff or whatever. What I'm saying is that you get it down. You have to learn to fail faster. So once you get it down, then the editor can say, especially if you've got a good editor, like how Spike is with me, he's just like, nah, that's not good. Rewrite, I think you should rewrite that, whatever. Let's just go through and break down all these panels, and I'll tell you, what should be happening, and so on and so forth. Hey, what's up, 709?
Hey man,
He said he just backed it. Thank you so much, dude.
loyal 7 of 9.
Yes.
He's probably our most loyal customer in Comicsgate. Gotta love this guy.
Yes. Loyal to the bone. Oh yeah, you know what? I need to add that tier, the villain tier. Yeah, I forgot to do that. The draw you in tier. Dude, I'm like, my mind has been going like in circles and nervous because I've already told myself that if we don't get funded, it's fixed. So everybody's just gonna get their money back, and then we'll do it again.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, you gotta try, and you don't succeed the first time, just keep trying.
Hold on a second. No, not yet. Jeremy, thank you for reminding me. We definitely need to discuss that. What was I saying? Gosh, I totally lost track of what I was saying.
Well, let's just go back to John Carpenter and how much we like it.
Yes.
We can take it from there.
What did you think about Ghost of Mars?
I think I'm one of the only 3 people in the entire world that liked it for what it was.
Right. I liked it.
I thought it was like really fun. I thought it was like Carpenter saying, you know what, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a bomb like most of my movies, so I just don't care. I'm just gonna some fun with my friends and do like a really pulpy slasher sci-fi horror flick. Fuck it, fuck
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, and the addition of Ice Cube to it, that surprised me that he did that, right?
I
For,
remember,
for
yeah, I remember reading a Fangoria issue in which they mentioned, like they interviewed John Carpenter when John Carpenter still was a thing, and he said, "What does the interviewer asked him, what does your movie have on other Mars-related movies?" Because at the time, Mission to Mars and One Red Planet had came out, and he said, "Well, my movie has Ice Cube in it." Who else can say that? Who else made
yeah,
like a Mars movie with Ice T on him?
yeah, that's
Ice
good.
Cube, Ice Cube.
Yeah, Ice Cube. And and you know what's so funny is that he let him play his character like how he plays his characters in movies.
He's
He,
basically you
yeah,
24/7.
he's basically Ice Cube in every movie. And I think there was there. I think the only one where he kind of wasn't was Are We There Yet?
Mm,
Which makes sense just because it's supposed to be a kids movie, road trip movie, that type of thing.
yeah.
But everything else, yeah, it's all Ice Cube all the time.
I mean, it's like when you cast Arnold, you know the kind of guy he's going to play. So that's
Right.
that's it's all like when you cast Nicolas Cage. I mean, you cast him for a reason.
Uh, Jeremy Ironsman says, "Yeah, John Carpenter, he's my Facebook friend
He's your Facebook with your friends with John Carpenter.
on Facebook." That's part
Wow,
of what he's saying.
wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. He said he says I'm also listening to MCD and reading El Cazador.
I'm not sure if MCD is what I think it is because it's a Spanish band whose those letters stand for I shit on God. It's a really really controversial Spanish punk band. I don't
Oh,
know if
really?
that's I don't know if that's the same band we're talking about.
It might be. And what's El Cazador?
Cazador it's an Argentinian comic book which is in the it's really 90s. It's in the line of Lobo and all these like ultra violent
Ah, okay.
superheroes. Like really Beasley like. It's like almost a Beasley comic. I think the artist was Ariel Olivetti, who's now working. I think he drew like Cable, like
Oh,
Messiah Complex, X-Men Messiah Complex, and Batman v Superman v Aliens v Predator.
oh, wow. I don't think I saw that one. Gosh, imagine that as a movie. He said no. He said Monsukeria.
Malzurke, yeah, that means evil in Basque. She always,
Oh,
well, he always calls me evil for some reason. He
oh,
likes
okay. So
that.
he's telling you no evil. I follow his page. Okay.
Yeah, well,
He says he's listening to that MCD.
it is that MCD? Okay, so I successfully corrupted his mind with
Oh,
Basque punk rock.
Lord. So
Pray
is
pray for your soul, Jeremy.
so so Basque language is different from like traditional Spanish.
Oh, it's absolutely different. It's crazy. It's actually closer to Japanese
Uh
in
huh.
sound. If you listen to a Japanese guy and a Basque guy speak, I mean, they won't understand each other, but for some reason they sound like really similar. And if you put them
Wow.
together, they will sound like they're having a conversation.
Dang. Uh-oh. People are retweeting and sharing. That's good. Let's see. Open mic. Live. Okay. I guess you're good. Let me refresh this one more time. Okay, so far two Packers. Okay, which is cool. So if you had to pick, if you had to pick just two of Carpenter's movies, like these are the like let's say they're about to get rid of like they have to get rid of every John Carpenter movie except for two. What two would you say to keep?
Well, first of all, I would rebel and create a terrorist group just to impede that initiative. But if I failed and I was actually forced to choose at gunpoint,
Right.
I would say The Thing and Big
Oh,
Trouble in Little China. I
oh,
think those two would have been
yeah.
the ones I would
I
say.
would have to. Yeah, I would have to say that. The thing. That's a really good one too. The only other two choices I would give other than the thing would be either They Live
Mm,
or um, or Halloween, just because.
yeah, yeah. I mean, my problem with Halloween is that I had already watched every slasher movie before I watched that. I was heavily into Friday the 13th as a teenager and even Scream and whatnot. So
Mhm.
I discovered Halloween retroactively. So to me, it didn't do anything, but not because it was a bad movie, but because everyone had copied it so many times that it wasn't new for me. But I still can appreciate what he did back in the
Wow.
day with like what little resources he had just by
Right.
being a good director and a good writer. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He definitely he definitely cut like okay because you know when you call like okay slasher flicks and you've got like um, Friday the 13th and stuff. I mean Friday the 13th was basically Mario Bava, like
Yeah. Yeah.
Mario
I mean,
Bava.
you could argue that the Italians invented the slasher genre, right?
Right. Yeah, because Mario Bava did,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a movie he did that's almost exactly the same, you know. Except that he seemed to do certain things with the kills. Uh, I don't remember if it was all of them, but like here and there where if they ended up being kind of funny, you kind of sort of
Mm.
bust out laughing, but it's still bad, you know. But yeah, so he created that, and then these people took over. And, uh, I mean, even Fulci with like
Yes.
New York Ripper,
Yes.
New York Ripper, and I'll never get over this one thing in New York Ripper, which is I'll never show my kids that movie, but when the woman's in the theater and the killer's coming after her, right?
Mm.
And then he starts to slash at her hands, I think it was. And then he does something where he slashes, and it looks as if the film, in the movie that we're watching itself, gets slashed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Well,
I
those
had to rewind it like at least 10 times because I just could not. I thought there was maybe something was messing with my head or something.
Yeah, no, no. I mean, you watch like those old 60s and 70s Italian exploitation movies,
Yeah,
and you realize that those guys were really groundbreaking for the time because just
yeah,
what's his name, Sergio Leone's westerns, they basically took like Howard Hawks and all these classic guys, John Ford, and they went to town on them. They basically turned them into superhero movies with characters that were like bigger than life and like
yeah,
freezing frame, like freezing the image and putting the name of the guy so that and
yeah,
this was back in the 60s. Doing this in the 60s, like this kind of meta textual take was really crazy. I mean, that's really groundbreaking.
yeah. And then of course Tarantino
Mm,
inspired people to take it and do it to death. You
yeah.
know, but but anyway, yeah. So I remember my dad when I was young, my biological father trying to get me to watch those, and at that time, I was really young, so I was just like, oh, this is Western, I don't like Western,
Yeah,
but
westerns are like an old guy's genre. You
mhm,
don't appreciate when you're a kid.
yeah, you don't. And then I got what made me like start to sort of appreciate it is when I saw uh, and go back to those is when I saw the Quick and the Dead.
Mm.
The Quick and the Dead. I was like, oh man, this is amazing.
That
And I
that was a really underrated movie. I mean, I think it went like down through the memory hole, but I remember really liking it, even when I still didn't like westerns. Well, I guess I was like 14, something like that, and I thought like this is really cool. The crazy camera angles and all that, and it's just a western. It's just an all-ace movie, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, that. Uh, I feel like it makes sense that they would try to do that because there's a difference when you're not using buildings, like architecture and stuff. So you kind of have to like really play with uh, what you have, and a lot of times that requires the camera angles, you know, and then of course those really nice, well balanced, composed shots where you've got the character.
Yeah.
And you can see him clearly, but he's almost like in composition wise, he's like a silhouette, and so you've got all this open ground around him, the use of the different lenses,
Yeah.
things like that. So, that's what I like that in Mandalorian was, it had that,
Mm.
it had a, it didn't overdo it, but it had a really nice touch of that. And I don't know if you saw, but the way that they do it with they use LED walls
Yeah.
instead of using screen. I think that's brilliant, dude.
Yeah, they went like I think modern Star Wars, including the prequels to some degree, have forgotten the spaghetti western roots of Star Wars because at least the first Star Wars movie was really, really like western like. Well, the whole cantina scene and Han Solo was basically Clint Eastwood, like the man with no name.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
even in the name, like Solo. Solo is what you would call someone with no name.
yeah, and that whole thing with Greedo, that's straight like
Yeah.
a spaghetti western. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
you can't
Boba
get
Fett
it.
is basically the Man in Black from like the Dollar trilogy.
Yes, yes. You can't get any more, you know, like that. How do you call it? More more
Yeah.
obvious reference to it. I mean, even what was it? Back to the Future 3 did some of that.
Mm.
And I thought that was cool because it added. Well, I mean, if you think back to like Back to the Future 2 when Biff is in the hot tub, and then what you call it? I can't remember which one of them it was, but it's playing on the TV. You know,
Yeah.
so it's that's meta too because of how they took it in the third one and actually, it's sort of like them doing that movie again, um, which is ironic considering all the movies are like a remake of each other. You know what I mean? Like they're all the same movie except, in different times and with just little changes here and there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they shot the two movies like back to back, right? Like they finished one movie and then started filming the third one. So I guess it was like all part of the same script.
Yeah, that's
So
that's right. Yeah,
so yeah, I, mean, I guess they had like some foreshadowing towards the third movie in the second movie, something like that.
and who does that anymore? Like
No,
I remember.
no one, because no one cares about their movies that much anymore.
No,
At least
I
in mainstream.
remember. I remember when I would see movies where they would show it as if like they would say that the characters would return in this whatever,
Yeah.
or basically it's to be continued because they had already started working on it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
And no, to answer your question, Jeremy. No, I'm afraid not. I never watched the original version, and I know I'm a bad person. I'm a massive fan of the Brian De Palma version with yeah, what's his name, Al Pacino. But I know I need to watch more classic movies, like more black and white movies. Now in my old age, that I'm permeable to them.
Yes. Let's see here. Tweet out again. You guys have a good dinner?
Oh yeah, we actually had like a dinner and movie combo. We
Oh,
went.
okay.
We had McDonald's because today it's Saturday. It's a special day.
Yeah.
And you know how much I like greasy burgers, right? I mean, you have experienced that in
Yes, I
person.
have. I have experienced it in person.
I'm a fan of American cuisine, always. I mean, even down to that. And then we went and watched this Australian movie called Necrotronic, which I,
I've
I
seen
didn't
that
know.
already. It's
Yeah,
good. Oh
it's
yeah,
I mean it's good. It's got like really cool, interesting ideas,
yeah,
but it needs. I already saw that on Twitter. It needs the help of whoever told George Lucas, trim it down. Go back to the writing board
yeah.
and just explain that in a more simple fashion,
Right.
because
Yeah,
it's got like really a lot of concepts, a lot of world building, and I thought that that kind of like weighted on the plot. Like trim that down, make the plot
yeah,
not faster but like more simple, more easy to follow, and you have a favorite. Because I really want. I mean, it's a movie called Necrotronic. I really wanted to make a movie called Necrotronic. Come on,
yeah.
come on now.
Exactly. And the concept is so good. Like it really is.
The
It's
concept is amazing. It's like
so.
Ghostbusters meet Demony by Baba meet
Mhm.
Doom, Blade, like a
Yeah,
shitload of really cool ideas.
yeah,
And I mean, I had a good time. I had a really
yeah.
good time.
And
But
you saw it in theater. That's good because
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's actually the first movie that I watched in like 5 months since the war ended.
yeah. Oh yes. The first one I watched was because they opened up, I think, 4 or 5 locations of one of the our local theater company or whatever that has movie theaters. And I was trying to find something, and my daughter, I was reading through the listing of movies, and Selena was one of the movies. It was a 25-year memoriam where her death or whatever. So they had it re-released, and she wanted to go see that movie. And I don't, I like Selena and Jennifer
Yeah,
Lopez, and it's a very good representation of Selena. you know. So yeah, definitely was down for that. But yeah, they have it over here. It's like 2 seats together, 2 seats empty,
yeah,
so forth, and then every other row. I don't know if
yeah.
they do it.
Not here. I mean, here they don't do that like the alternating seats thing, but they will tell you that they have like a maximum. I don't know what the word is in English. Like you only allow a certain number of people in the building. I guess to avoid like cluttering and whatnot.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know. It's all bullshit because then they will allow people to like get really like our public transportation is brimming to the top with people because in the summer they always like slow down the frequencies, and instead of subways every 5 minutes, we have subways like every 10 minutes or every 30 minutes. So they unavoidably they inevitably become like really crowded. So I don't know. I think it's all bullshit.
What's the last good Spanish movie that you saw?
The last Spanish movie that I saw, I wanna say it was a horror movie called The Influence, based on a Ramsey Campbell book. It wasn't too good. It was like an old witch lady who was trying to possess her own granddaughters in her deathbed. Yeah, I don't know why Spanish directors have like a really are like really fans of Ramsey Campbell. They all of them try to adapt one of their books, as if there weren't any more cool horror writers out there. I don't know why.
There was one, and I can't remember if it was from what was it? If it was from Spain or not. I kind of think it was. It was either Spain or maybe Chile or somewhere. But it's called. Gosh, what was it called? Uh, man, it's. I think it's the Terror or something like that, and it's about like this house where I don't know, like there was one part where there was a guy that was in the guy's closet, and then he would be under his bed, and then there was a little boy that had died, and then he came back. So I don't know. It was kind of sort of like a poltergeist type movie.
Uh, it wasn't Darkness, right?
Mm, in darkness, or let me see. Hold on.
There was also an Argentinian movie called, I guess the English translation would be Frightened, called Aterrados.
I think that is it.
That,
I
that was
think.
actually pretty good.
Hold on. Let me see. Yes, terrified. Yeah, that.
Terrified, yeah.
Yeah. That's the one I'm talking about. That one was
Mm.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was from
really.
Argentina, and yeah, man, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I just chose to watch it because why the hell not?
Yeah,
And I was genuinely creeped out at some scenes that it.
yeah. It was really good. I remember like, I was like, oh man.
Well, Jeremy Irons, man, seemed to have a real good, like real horror movie for us. Like he says he apologizes, but he's being treated like a ghost. There's demon children outside his door, and a woman who wants him to have an accident on some stairs. Wow, it's a bit early for like Thanksgiving, isn't it?
What the heck? Is he saying this is happening to him right now or what?
I don't know. This is why my followers on Twitter are so cool because they will tell me stuff like that out of the blue.
Yeah, exactly right. And with that recent escape of Annabelle, I think we all need to be very, very cautious these days. Oh man. Ah, shoot. What time is it over there?
It's 2:41 a.m.
Jeez.
Yep. But everything for my art. I will remain sleepless for weeks if that helps me sell my book.
Yeah. Well, you know what I've told you already.
Yeah.
You gotta get your rest, man.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm that big headed. I'm a canales. I mean, that's how we are.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so are you working on anything right this second? Or?
Well, right now I'm literally toning a page for More Lethal, this ashcan that I'm drawing for Aaron Calimeri.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's about this ninja chick, this ninja cyborg chick
Now,
battling other ninja cyborgs.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
pure brainless fun all the time.
Yes, let's look at that. I back that one actually.
Mm.
Well, I want to back anything that you do. So, it's called More Lethal, right?
Yep.
Let's go through it. StreamYard. Let me share the screen. There's no trailer, right? I don't think there's a trailer.
There should be, but I don't think there is.
I don't see it.
I think it's just a companion piece for Cybershock, for the second printing of Cybershock.
Ah, okay. I see. All right, so let's take a look. More lethal. A synthetic swordsman must fight her way through cyber ninjas to rescue her captured master. Well, it's good you had already been working on ninjas with me.
Yeah, no, that helped me warm up for this one.
Yeah, definitely. I'll take a look at this other image. See. Who did the? Is that Joe Ball's work on this?
I know he worked on this, so yeah, I think that's him.
Okay. And then let's see. Yeah, I could see it. Let's
Used
see
to have
here.
also like pinups by PK, but I think they had like some internal creative differences, like him and Aaron Calimari. So he's no longer in the project, which is too bad because I really like the guy. Shit happens.
Yeah, things happen. Just you gotta just keep it moving. I
Mm,
really like that logo. I wonder who did that
yeah.
though. That King Toad. That's a really good logo. 20-page black and white manga-sized cyberpunk.
Mm, it's a wee tiny book.
Yeah, that's not that bad though. I mean, well, if it's got your art in it, that's I mean to me,
Thank you so much.
yeah, I got you. Let's see, alternate limited edition wraparound cover by Joe Paul and Michael. Oh, okay, so Michael's probably doing the cover. That's probably what it is. Yes, and I always love to get down to the pages, like to see your stuff.
That's just me going crazy and saying fuck everything. We don't need rules or proportions. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
have fun.
exactly. Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, we'll just do the what do you call it? Butch Hartman buildings in the background.
Yeah, yeah. I hate using rulers, so I'll take whatever chance I have to not use them.
Yeah, exactly.
I
I
like to
love
do
it.
everything freehand.
We need that. I'm always looking for the energy and the action, and
Mm.
that's definitely one thing you're just really good at. Really, really good at. And I'm of course going to just pretend that this ninja is one of my ninjas, but in the future.
Of course, because even though Zack doesn't want to, we all know that all comics gate happen in the same universe, or at
Yes.
least in the same multiverse.
Yeah, exactly. They're just different universes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that looks good. Gosh, I love it. And I love seeing it in print.
Mm.
That's the part, right? Like seeing it on here, and especially it's compressed and the resolution's not all that, but when you see it in the book, it's just
Yeah, that's when that's when you finally know I am a comic book creator. When you hold your baby in your arms and you browse through the pages and smell the ink and feel the cover and yes, I made it. I made a comic.
you know that's what I'm waiting for. When I actually feel it in my hands, bro, that's just gonna be. That's when I
Mm,
know. That's when it's real. I don't care how much it makes, as far as like, even if it made a ton of money. Looking at the money, looking at the bank account, all that, none of that means anything to me until I actually see it. Somebody else join? Hey, there he is. Everybody,
hey,
El Guapo
hola.
Caesar Feliciano in the building. Yes, this is the artist for the Ronin prequel, Ashcan, whatever you want to call it. And he's here to bestow us with his, great presence.
Buenos días, Ibai.
Buenos dias. Yes, it's technically in the morning here because it's
Yeah.
2 a.m.
Bueno, that's good. Yes. How is everyone tonight?
Well, I'm pretty happy to be here.
Yeah, it's exciting, right?
Mm,
It is. It's also a little bit nerve wracking too.
Finally.
Oh,
Oh
yeah, I
man,
know.
look at these energetic pieces here, Ibai. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, as I said before, this is just me having fun with the art and not paying mind to any rules, like proportions or perspective or one. Just me having fun, like doodling stuff on an A4 sheet.
Want to make something that looks cool.
And what is that? Oh,
That's a pinup by Carla Tornielli from the
Yeah,
Green
this
River.
is
Pretty cool girl.
Carla, that's right. Yeah, I was looking at it. I was thinking, is that Carla's work? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is
That's her.
pretty cool. I like her little speculators on the lake there.
Oh, she's getting a lot better in a really short time.
Yeah. See, but that's what I was trying to say earlier. Is like about writing or about any aspect of this is for you to just do it, and in Comicscape, it allows you to just do it, and you have all the wealth of all these other people around you to like critique you and tell you,
Mm-hmm.
hey, work on this, do this, or I think maybe what if you tried this, and that ends up making you better
Yes.
faster,
Yeah.
and I
Absolutely.
really
Absolutely.
got to understand that concept when I was learning music, and there was a point much more in the more recent years, I guess, like maybe 10 years ago or something like that. And I was taking classes from this guy who teaches, he has a pop band academy. And so basically what he does is he has everyone get on instruments and you're playing pop songs and you're doing it at the same time, and you have to shorten the curve of how long you can learn, take to learn something, you know. So uh, that's that's kind of the mentality that I started to have, because he was like, if you forget what chord it is, but you know the root note, just hit a rhythm with that root note and just
Mm.
do something that sounds good. And then you're playing, you're in a band, and that's what it's about. And then you can work, as you're going along, you'll pick up the skills and learn the chords and so on and so forth. So that's what we're doing here, like we're getting people that tell us, hey, yeah, this, that, the other, no, that's bad, whatever. And then we do it and get it done, and we get better in a shorter amount of time doing it this way, even for our first project, than we would do if we sat in school and, we waited and, expected, these quote unquote pros to tell us, bestow their wisdom upon us and, tell us what we should or shouldn't do, instead of just getting it done, then fixing it, because that's the only way I feel like that you're going to do it quicker, because you realize that time is of the essence. And you're not worried about all the fluff and all the middle.
Yeah.
Just get it done, and that's
Yeah.
what,
You learn at some point. You learn that what's important is to keep producing, and every page in every comic book that you produce is going to automatically make you better.
right.
So just don't become obsessed with every single detail, and just keep going, keep drawing, and the next page is going to be automatically, it's going to be better than the last one.
Yeah, I mean, you of all people, I could never even doubt what you say, because you're the one person that I know for sure is a testament to that, because
Mhm.
I've seen it from back with the what do you call it? The arroz,
Iron sights.
yeah, from Ironsides, seeing it to now, like it's so good. Like I've seen
Mhm.
certain instances, I'm like, dang, and I look back at like your perspective from Ironsides to now, and I'm just like, wow, that's a huge improvement.
Yeah, I think it was all due to the fact that a lot of pros joined Comicsgate, and suddenly EBS and Mike Miller and Dr. Apple and whatnot, they were all on board with us, and I realized I'm the retarded cousin that they keep in the barn. I don't want to be that. So I'm
Right.
gonna work my ass off, and if
Yeah.
this was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I would later face. They would like keep me in the basement, away from the tourists.
Right. But you're
So
the
no,
one
I
that ends up
refuse.
taking the most hits, and the one
Mm,
who ends up, doing the most damage. You know what I'm saying?
well, that too is like another thing. I mean, the harder they hit us, the harder we hit back. I mean, we're
Yeah,
we're, we're kickboxers, so that's what we do.
yeah, yeah. So it says Blade Girl, a Kane, is a synthetic human sword fighter with the ability to level up her fighting skills like a video game character. She fights for honor but is merciless in combat. Master Nagato has been captured by cybernetic terrorists. Blade Girl, a Kane, must fight through cyber ninjas and Aramusha boss ninja to rescue Nagato before his brain is hacked for secret information that may pose a worldwide threat. That's pretty good. I like the idea.
Have we? I just shared a link out. Let's get this. If you're in the stream, let me see. Jeremy Ironsman, if you want to go ahead and share the link here, we got 5 watching right now. So I just, like I said, just put out shut the link out on Twitter for whoever. But yeah, that's awesome. Whose campaign is that you were just talking about there, Alex?
That's Aaron Calamari's campaign for More Lethal.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, let's get him. Let's get his link in there too. Think about it.
So is this campaign live right now?
Yeah, his is live. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Is our live yet? Is it?
Yes, ours is live. Yeah.
It's live right now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got it popped. How we doing?
So far, let's see. I'm gonna refresh it. Not sure if anyone else has backed it yet. So far, 2 backers.
2 backers. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got to really work on, getting it promoted.
We gotta promote the crap out of this book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now there is going to be international shipping option, or are we just doing?
I'm just doing U.S. right now because honestly,
Okay.
I don't know enough about that, and I don't want to take a chance of getting it wrong. So I apologize to anybody.
Mm.
Once it shipped that way, maybe it may be. I don't know. I don't know how we. I think what we'll do is this: we'll go with U.S. shipping for the first campaign. Then on the second one for John's Law Rebel, Rebel, what we'll do is we'll offer the first and second book, obviously, right? And then what we'll do is we'll offer the first and second book. I'm sorry, first and second book a tier with international shipping on it, so that they can shut that door, so that they can get it out to them.
Right.
So if they visit that first time, then they'll be able to do it that way. Unfortunately, like I said, I have absolutely no clue about international shipping, and I wonder how Richard and I saw some other people that are doing. They're doing worldwide shipping, and I think Richard's doing it like it's free shipping or something. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I know that I asked Doug Ernst for Soul Finders Demons match, and he didn't have an international perk, but I asked him personally, like, can I have a copy? I will pay you whatever it takes, for you to ship it to me at this particular. So he did that, and I actually got my copy. So I know that it can be done at least on a person by person basis.
That's what I'm kind of thinking too. I was just gonna see if anyone and I guess I'll tweet about it too. If anyone asks or whatever, then we'll work it out in the background, and they can, pay me, the book, and I'll give them whatever the cost for the shipping, and then ship it to them.
Yeah.
So
It's a little sketchy. I know that. I used to do a lot of commissions. I would ship them internationally, and I actually had, some things end up costing like $70 to ship.
wow.
But that's just based on, because someone's buying a, 13 by 20, piece.
Yeah.
It's just the size of the box is odd. So if you were to keep it in, with that Gemini mailer size on a consistent, it'd be interesting to find out if it's 2 pounds or less. What is the average cost of shipping? But the thing is, it's, you got the whole world, right? So figuring out what the shipping is for everything. And then I've shipped out stuff internationally where the person never got it, ever. And I went ahead and, redid the commission because just, I felt bad and sent it out again. They never got it. So, what do you do with that, right? So
Like if you send stuff overseas to especially Europe, you're taking a gamble, because I know that some friends have mailed me stuff from the US, not comics get related, like just toys that they have in surplus or whatever, and they just disappeared into the massive bureaucratic system of our mail, mail system.
Right.
Say what you will about the post office in the United States. It's it's got a system, and it runs.
Yeah.
It runs, all the routes are set up. I guess it's like it's in the what was that movie? And you guys have probably seen it, Klaus, where they sent the one guy up to the North Pole area to start a post office, and it was kind of like a different take on the Santa story.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
But that's the stuff that people would do when they were first starting the postal system here in the United States. They would go out to these far out places and create a postal route, which is back in those days the postmaster used to carry pistols and, and rifles on his
Yeah.
horse as well as the mail. Those were the days, right?
Yeah.
This is why I love America. This is why I'm I'm Americanophile. If you can call it like that.
Yeah, you can tell with the Gatling gun and all that, the minigun.
America.
America.
I love these cookies. I love it
I
too.
mean, you can blame us because the Basques back in the day before we went full Marxist, we used to be a lot like Americans. We would be like shepherds and like ranchers and whatnot, and just wanted to be left alone in our mountains until the Romans came along and all that. But I think our mindset was pretty similar to the Americans. Proof of that is that there's a buttload of Basque people still alive in the U.S. that traveled there back in the 19th century to work as shepherds and ranchers as well.
No, it's amazing that civilization and civilizing, I believe, has a purpose. But when a society becomes too advanced, their people lose their individual will. And I think that what was the story of the Time Traveler by H.G. Wells.
Yeah, time machine.
And yeah, the time, and so you had these the people that lived above the ground,
Yes.
And they were savages and they could take care of it. And then the people that were supposed to be really smart and everything, they were underground, and they were. I'm sorry, no, there was three people. So then there was the ones that were really intelligent, but they had no fighting instinct to them.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and so they quickly got taken advantage of. And you see that happening in our society. You see that happening, with the young people.
Yes.
They're very weak. Okay.
Yes.
They lose their mind over a person that gets elected president that they don't like. They become puppets of the Marxist system within the school, and it produces a certain level of mind control that gets switched on whenever triggers are put about. And that's not how we were created to be.
Yeah.
God created us to be individual, to be strong, self-willed, and so it's good.
Take dominion.
What was that?
To take dominion.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, if you see something, you gotta take it. That's why I don't understand these cuck type men that they believe that if they are weak or acquiesce to a certain type of woman, that woman is going to be interested in them. But the reality is, the moment a strong man,
simping. But yeah.
what was that?
I said basically you're talking about simps.
Yeah. The moment a strong man comes in, you can tell that woman can immediately, they can tell the difference. And they may act like they're repulsed by that man, but the reality is that they're not. Their desire, their internal loins gird up.
Like, I don't wanna boast.
Hey, wait.
I like to.
This is what you just said. It totally explains this whole back and forth between Abai and Remphamus.
Yes, I was going to say I don't like to boast. I don't like to brag, but I'm just going to say feminists love me. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, I'm gotten so much feminist I don't want to say the word because I want to keep this stream PC or
I,
PG.
no, I think like what you're saying is that that's the reason why they even came into more focus, and why that it kind of happened that way is because men started to, you know, how do you say it? Like, I guess lose their manliness, or
Yes.
give in to that
What?
for the, it's just like what we see on Twitter, for the vocal minority. You know what I mean? Oh, you need to be more sensitive. You need to be this. You need to be that.
Yeah.
But when the kukui comes out, then all of a sudden,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
we got to go in there and inspect.
Listen, a lot of guys act tough, okay? But I'll be honest with you, a lot of guys that talk a lot of crap and act tough have never been punched in the face,
Mm,
okay? They're-
that's actually the main reason why they act tough.
Oh yeah.
if you've ever been in a fight, and I've been
Mm.
in a lot of them in my life, okay? I was a fighter and that sort of thing. I've been in a lot of fights, okay? I studied fighting and everything, all right? So when you learn how to take a fight, when you get hit, okay, and you can, you like, it shocks you, okay? But at the same time, your response level kicks up, your adrenaline kicks up, and you're either going to have the response where you're going to push the adrenaline down, okay, or you're going to be like, okay, now you're going to be snapped to attention. That
Right.
is the natural state, okay,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's inherent in Spanish men or whatever, but
Chudo knows I got a
I
gun.
see a lot. I see a lot of these, and I'm not saying they're bad people. All right, they're nice, but I just worry that if there's a confrontation, would they be able to stand up?
Yeah, exactly. If it went down, what are they gonna do?
Which leads us to Johnny, right?
Right?
that
Yes.
that was elegant. That was a very elegant way of doing it.
Hey,
Congratulations.
I give you your props on that. You caught me from the side with that one. I didn't see that one coming. Yes, it definitely brings us to Johnny. Uh, Johnny Johnny grew up in suffering. He grew up in pain and seeing it, and he had a mother and a father, that meant well, except that his father was, did start off in gangs, and he was a gangbanger and rose to prominence, and became one of those sort of guys that you see in the mob movies. It's more like a made guy, and you know but at some point he realized that, I guess, is good, because it's a spark right in the right direction, which is realizing that he needed to get his son out of there, and that's when Johnny joins the military. But all it did was make him a more proficient killer. You know what I mean? And make him, like when you said about having all those fights, because at some point, when you fight enough times, you're either going to fold, or you're going to learn to start thinking, because usually when you get into a fight, those first few times, you're not able to think as clearly. But once you're able to think clearly, and you're actually thinking of what you need to do, that's when you start to become more proficient. And so with him, he's now in this situation where it's a more disciplined method of fighting, war and operations and things that, he sort of kind of has a vague, like when you say, oh, I don't know it. Maybe if you say the word, or maybe if you show it to me, I'll know it, or like a song when you say, oh, I don't know the title, but I might know it if I hear it, So he realizes that that's what he had already. He had this vague understanding of these things, because it's so surface out in the streets. And then being in the military, it becomes laser focused, and becomes something that is is put into focus and then continuously through repetition over and over and over until it becomes second nature and it becomes like breathing. And I've never been in the military. My father is retired Air Force, but he's only been to Iraq twice, and that was when he had already turned 50.
Right.
And he did, he did like basically was setting up the warehouses and stuff out there, because that's what he did at Ellington, out in Houston. He ran the warehouse. So
Right. Well, that's what people don't realize is about the military. The military is a lot more about moving large things around quickly. That's one of the things that they teach you how to do. But so just to kind of like stay focused on this. So when you gave me the 10-page prequel to do, I read through it, and then this is gonna lead over to Ibai, because I want to find out what his mentality and thought process was as he moved on his part of the story. The panels that I did, the pages that I did, as I was reading the script, it was Johnny breaking away from that, and I think one of the things that struck me about Johnny, was that it was he was a kind of like a West Coast rapper style gangster type person, but he has a katana sword, which
yes,
it's that's so different, because he's going back to his heritage of his Asian heritage that he also has, as well as the a black heritage. And so when I was reading the story and depicting it and trying to lay it out, I really wanted to bring out I think the unbridled savagery of that moment, because he was so
yes,
it's like that scene in John Wick when they broke him in the first movie, where he was done, okay, but they brought him back in. And I'm not saying it's the same thing with this, but Johnny making the break from I'm just done with this, and then these people are trying to tell him that no, you're not done. Once you're in, once you bleed in, you gotta bleed out.
right,
Okay?
exactly.
So that's the only way to get out. And so he's like, well, no, I'm my own man, and this is what and he made them all pay. So I wanted to make it as savage as possible. And so I just remember when I was doing the layouts for those and everything like that, and I showed you those, you were like, oh yeah, these are cool layouts. But then as I started to actually do the pencils and finishes, like I went even a little bit more extreme. And I think that what I liked about those pages was just kind of like the savagery of
Yeah,
10-page sequence, where he's just going all out and just saying, I don't care who is in my way. I'm like a freaking wrecking ball with spikes all over it. And if you get anywhere near it, you're not only going to get crushed, but you're going to get mutilated. So, that was really what I wanted to bring out, and it was fun to me because, whenever I draw fight scenes, and I talked about this on other streams and stuff, when I talk about other projects that I've done, is that Jeremy Latte, hey, what's up, Jeremy?
Hey.
Is that I try to use my martial arts training, and when my characters move, they move in a way that makes sense. But with Johnny, I just wanted to push those movements super extreme. Like there's one panel that I drew where he does like a knee kick to the guy, but he's also stabbing him. So he goes through his neck and out his mouth with the sword as he's like breaking his ribs, all in like just this one motion, and I was pretty excited about it. That got me really excited. I was like, that's freaking that is crazy, I would love to do that to somebody.
I think we're in the same page here because when I'm gonna inject myself in the conversation since
Go ahead.
you mentioned me before the whole thing, and I was thinking that yes, this guy has a really mean, practical streak to him when he fights. As in, he's not trying to knock you out necessarily; he's trying to incapacitate as quickly as possible because he's gonna be fighting like several opponents at the same time. So he's not gonna go for a KO. He's not going to go to a liver shot. He's just like gonna break your knee or like crush your throat or like gouge your eyes out
Yeah.
and then move on to the next guy. And if he has a sword, yeah, like he will put it through your head without a second thought.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because it makes me think of that fight scene in Batman versus Superman with Batman, and he's fighting all the guys. It's really a lot of what he was doing. And when he got stabbed, he's just take it out, stab you with it, and so he's just going through the whole motions of trying to like incapacitate, like you said, all these multiple opponents, to get to his goal, which is the other room. So. Yeah, I mean that's the word that goes through my head when I'm thinking of all this too is relentless, because that also comes from Johnny's gang side of him, because yes, he's got the discipline of the military and the this is the objective. Here's the order, execute. He's got that. And that really is like the main line that brings in the savagery from the streets, where that is there's a touch of ignorance to that savagery that is not considering anything, sometimes even their own life, and because I'm not proud of it, but I was in the middle of that. You know what I mean? I never claimed anything, but I was always with those people, both Blood and Crips, and I saw everything.
I used to be Antifa, so I won't judge.
So yeah, I saw all of these things, and I remember how we were and all of the conversations. For example, there was one time where I was at what we say out there, a term that we use, play brother. It was my play brother, and I was at his house, and he lived out by Crenshaw, out off of Crenshaw, and where he lived at was Bloodhood, and he was Crip, and his mother lived there, right? So he went to go stay with her for a while, and everybody was cool with her, and because of that, they didn't mess with him. Right. And then he was cool with all of them. They have a dance called the Crip Walk. He learned their version, which is the Blood Walk. So like as long as he didn't do the certain things, he didn't do a call, he didn't, like throw any signs up, he didn't, do certain things. He wasn't like straight banging blue the whole time. Like, around them, they were fine with it. Right. So I remember one night, I had just come back from Houston. I had a Houston Astros hat on, and little breezy that he met, we went over there to go to her house, and he's like called up to her window, and so they're talking, right? And the front of the building there's no light there, so it's really, really dark. So he's talking to her. They're sitting on something, I don't remember, but they're talking. And I'm standing over by the car, and I remember I saw a guy, because the driveway extends and it goes beyond the building. You can go like around back. So I saw a guy come around the corner, and there's a certain type of a LA type of a walk, that a run walk type of thing where they get like real low to the ground and they run, and they usually have their gun out to the side. So I saw him. It was really dark where he was coming from. But I didn't see the gun, but I figured, he probably has a gun. So then he comes up, and I knew he was coming around the car, but there was really nothing I could do, and I kept trying to get my brother's attention, and he, of course, he's off in the zone with her and everything. And then the dude came around and put the gun in my head, and then he was like, "Say, cuz, where you from?" and all this and that. And I was like, man, I ain't from nowhere, right? Because whatever we did, we weren't, like I said, we were in that neighborhood, and we weren't allowed to do that. But where we were at was at like right butted up against Crip area, right? So, but still too close to that side. So anyway, the dude starts asking me, and he was like, where are you from and all that? I was like, man, I don't bang, homie. And he's like, oh no, why you got that hat on? And I didn't totally didn't even think about it because I'm from Houston, but I didn't think about what it was, Hoover Crip. But his particular set didn't get along with them, right? So, man, I'm just sitting here, and then my brother seen it. He's like, hey, man, he don't bang, or whatever. And he got so mad when the guy finally left. He remembered, I guess, his cousin or whatever, where they stayed at. So we went back to the house, and he went under the bed. He had an AK, went under the bed.
Oh, shit.
He was like, we're going to go get him, you know what I'm saying? We're riding. And I was like, man, we had just gotten a whole lot of music equipment because that was what we were doing. And I said, man, I said, I'm down. I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna do whatever. I'm by your side all the time. I was like, but we just got all this equipment, and we ain't even started doing anything yet. And then what happens if we get out there and we get caught up? Or better yet, if you die, and then I gotta come back and tell mom that you die, or vice versa, And then so we started to leave. I was like, if you want to go, we'll go. And then we went out, and then we started to leave, and then he was like, you know what, man? He's like, man, I'm just mad because the way that he came at you like that, and so on and so forth. And finally we went back to the house, and then he was like, man, I hate that. And we didn't see the guy again because he was like, hey, but if I see him again, you don't stop me, don't tell me nothing. I was like, all right. But that's, stuff like that like you black out mentally, you don't, all you want to do is do something and do it now and do damage, and you don't care who gets hurt, you don't care what happens, you just want to do something to them,
Right.
and that's a constant thing. And then also what we call get back, which is retaliation. We're always having to worry about, is somebody going to come back and do something to us for what we did to them or to someone else that they know? Because people are always quick to go tell their folks, like, hey, dude over here, he lives over here, and he did this and that, and then they'll come through your street, lights out, and that's it.
So, yeah, I mean, and that's the way. So I can definitely see that with where Johnny was. That's that scene.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun to do. I like the tooth coming out. I did that as like a addition at the time. Yeah, I should probably put a tooth out through there, because if a sword going through you like that, it's gonna probably knock a tooth or two out.
Yeah.
But so Ibai, when you were seeing this character like this for the first time, I don't know if Alex, did you give him like any kind of background as far as where he was at? Because when I see Ibai on his pages doing that character, it's like a fully realized character already. You know, and I mean, he does a great job. I found it interesting when Alex, you told me that Ibai was drawing those ninjas, and he says, I don't think I ever drew ninjas before, or something to that effect.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. That really
Janislaw had both my first time drawing ninjas and my first time drawing like an actual romantic scene ever. Like two people falling in love. That was something that I don't think I've ever drawn before.
Yeah, I'm glad to be the one to,
Yeah.
It's the first for everything. Yeah.
he popped my romantic cherry, so to speak.
Yeah, I was trying not to say that, but yeah, I got you.
You just leave it to me to
Yeah,
to
that's
raise the
why.
rate,
That's
the
why
age
I didn't
rate
say
of this
anything
stream.
about it.
Yeah.
I'm just, I figured you'd probably say something because I was thinking it, but I was like, Abai's probably gonna say it.
Just call me the demonetizer. That's me.
Oh man, I'm honestly not even worried about that stuff because all I care about is pushing. Hey, we got 3 backers. We're at
Nice.
116. Yep. So hold on. Let me share that real quick.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see that screen.
Okay. There we go.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, we're moving. We're moving a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's 2%, but we got 60 days left. I think we can do it as long as we, keep promoting and hit these live streams. And I want to try for us to live stream it. I know you guys got things going on or whatever, but just as much as we can. And if it's every other day or every couple days or whatever it is, just to keep the flow going.
Yeah.
And
So-
even this, what we're doing now is I love it. We're just sitting here having these conversations about all of these things that we love, and let's see, okay, let's add that to the stream. And yeah, we'll leave that muted for now. Okay.
Hey, Michael
Yeah,
Derrick
so
just back.
that's what I like.
Michael.
Oh, cool.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Michael. For those who don't know, Michael is the creator of The Abductables, and Abai is the artist on that book, it's a fantastic book.
Yes.
But yeah, he's got that, and he's got his other one. Here, let me pull it up.
I missed the abducticals. Abductical. That's a difficult word. Abducticals. I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
Abductables.
Yeah. So I missed that campaign. It was well over by the time I even kind of discovered some of these things out there. But yeah, if that ever gets put out again.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a perk like to get the 2 volumes together when the Abductables 2 launches.
Yeah. Actually, Michael and I are working on a little secret project together.
Oh.
Yeah. Little tease there, Michael. I don't know if he's still on, but yeah. So that should be good. So it would be nice to maybe we could do a stream where Ibai will sketch something, and then I'll go ahead and ink it digitally live.
That would be. Oh,
yeah,
God.
yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned how to share screen lately, so yeah, I'm not a boomer anymore. I'm a zoomer now.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, so lots of so we're we got to keep the ball rolling on Johnny. Obviously I got my projects that I just finished. I'm in the middle of still fulfilling Chango. But then I have another project that I'm working on aside from the little small project I'm doing with Michael. That's Gods and Soldiers.
Yes.
So that is like a remastering of the first book that I put out called Gods and Soldiers. And I'm doing brand new art and everything for it. So I'm just gonna share a few of the pages from that if I could.
Yeah, go ahead, man. That's what I was saying. I want to do streams not just to promote Johnny's Law, really, but
because we're all working on something, right?
Yeah,
so
because I feel like promoting you guys promotes me because that means they're here, and then we can talk about my stuff, but we can also show all this other great stuff that we have in Comicscape, and I'm just like excited for it.
So with this story, I wanted to do a buddy adventure story. I was in the military, and a lot of my friends served and stuff like that. And so I wanted to kind of do a story with a couple of Marine Corps buddies. One is dealing with financial issues, which that's a big deal for the military. But his wife thought that he was gonna be making all this money, ends up being military, so she kind of like soaked him and he's trying to take any odd job that he can, because when you're a soldier and all you know is killing, and using your fighting skills and your military training, uh, there's not like a lot of marketable options for you, so you become a soldier of fortune. That's one of the characters. Then there's this guy right here that I'm showing. His name is Mike Zisk, and he's dealing with a very common thing with a lot of soldiers that served, and he was in Afghanistan, so he's dealing with PTSD issues, so which leads him to having these crazy nightmares that he deals with,
Yeah, I saw that page.
on a nightly basis. And
That's a
so
fantastic page, I must say.
thank you very much, Ibai. It means a lot. And so he's dealing with it. It's you try to figure out how to live with these things that you've seen. I mean, one of the things that people don't realize is that movies and stuff, they glorify the killing and stuff like that, but it does leave an effect. And some people deal with it a little bit better than others. And I think with this particular guy here, Mike, he saw a child killed, but that child was being used by the the insurrectors there, or the Taliban, and used as a suicide bomb. So he saw that, and that kind of wrecked him. So his buddy calls him out, and he says, "Hey man, let's get together." He's like, "Yeah, I'd love to." So they meet up, and they decide that kind of after talking back and forth a little bit, they decide that they're gonna go on a little weekend adventure in Tijuana, and kind of blow off some steam. But when they get there, his buddy, Bruce, his name is Bruce Daring. He's half Puerto Rican and half white, and he ends up telling Mike, "Hey, Mike, let me tell you the real reason that we're down here is, I got hired to put an end to a sex trafficking ring." So that right there leads him to this warehouse where they're actually have a cult that worships these Aztec gods, and they they're taking these women, and they're sacrificing them in order to open a portal to another dimension, and then what comes out of that dimension is these two Aztec gods that are warring against another. So there's a lot of action adventure in this. There's the military aspect, but I'm a big fan of Indiana Jones and archaeological type of stories and that sort of thing. And so we're going to be dealing with some of that, their adventures in there, and it's kind of, it has that Road to El Dorado type feel, to it. And so the people that are actually backing the guy that got hired to stop the sex trafficking, and they know, all right, they know about their attempt to open up this portal, because they want to get in there, and they want to steal artifacts, and he finds out about this, and so it's a shadow government that wants to take these objects of power and use them for to control the world. And so there's a few different things that are at play here. So I'm really excited to bring this story out. I went back to the writer after I did the first issue, and I said, you know what, this was okay, but I think we can go a little bit further with it. And he came back with a rewrite of the script, and it was like, yes, this is exactly what we need here. So yeah, so I'm really excited about putting that out. And while I'm at it here, let me just open up this other. So this is the campaign that I just recently wrapped up. Where are we here? issue 1. So these are some of those pages from that. That's not the campaign though. I have too many files on my computer. I lose track. ¿Dónde
Yeah,
está?
same thing happens to me. I don't know where's where anymore.
Yo no entiendo porque cómo se perdió esto. ¿Es esto? Yeah, these are just some of these are just I'll just open up a few of the pages here. But this campaign's already fulfilled, and just started. I've been sending them out. I just got a few more to fulfill on that. But this one here is near and dear to my heart. It's a lot of relationship with a mother and her son, and how things got a little bit messed up between them, and but I mean, all in all, it's like I'm really excited to bring these stories out, and I'm very happy with the way that the first book came out, and there's nothing like actually having the book in your hand, and yeah, so makes me really proud, and I'm really looking forward to when this campaign is fulfilled, and having the book in our hands and being able to say, hey, here's another one. It's another victory for independent comics, because right now, the original, you will never find a story like this, being told, or even a story like Gods and Soldiers being told in mainstream comics. That's not what they're interested in.
I gotta say, the last thing I heard. I'm sorry, am I echoing somewhere?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, how about now?
No, you're not echoing.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say that the last thing I heard from the mainstream was the Old Guard, and only because I saw there was a movie based on it on Netflix, and that was, for a mainstream comic book made by two big names, was the most unoriginal, unimaginative tribe that I've seen in a very, very long time.
Yes, I'd have to agree with you on that. I enjoyed that movie quite a bit.
Well, sorry. But yeah, I mean, what I want to say is that this story and the way you told him and the way you pitched it, it made a thing that I really like. That it kind of takes a turn, like it mixes genres, because it starts like a serious, realistic war-related drama, with the soldier coming back home with PTSD and all that, and suddenly it takes a turn to like the fantastic and the dark, and I really like it when that happens. It's something that they don't do anymore, like trying to set up like a realistic world and then subverting it with the presence of supernatural stuff. That's something that used to be done back in the day when when horror and dark fantasy was good. Now it's like we have monsters coming out of everywhere, like in the first 10 minutes of the story, the first 2-3 pages of the comic.
Yeah, and and that's a great point. It's I like to. There's a certain feeling. It's almost like, I don't know if for you play baseball or you play. It's like when you're watching a duel between pitchers, or when you're watching a match, a football match, a soccer match, and it's 0-0, and both teams are high quality teams, and they have fantastic players, and they're going from one side of the pitch to the other, back and forth, and they're taking their shots and they're just missing, or they're just about, the goal's about to go in, but then the goalie makes an incredible play to prevent the goal, and then this is going on both sides, and so you're sitting at the edge of your seat, and then all of a sudden you get the goal, and there's the release. When you introduce these things so early in the story, it's almost like, where do you go from there? You have to keep going to another level and another level and another level, and so it almost makes you desensitized, you know, to what is something that should be like either wow or shocking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that I was looking at, like art wise, is it's crazy that we have like the different types of artists and styles, and like, and then with you, it's it can. There's the Mike Mignola and the Brian Boland and all of these, like sort of styles wrapped up in one in your artwork. And even someone that I liked that basically started it all for me was Willie Blyberg. He was an inker, but he did do artwork as well. And there was that I've mentioned this probably a bunch of times before in other streams, but Americomics #2, which had the story of the Shade, but they used the Terror, or the Black Terror, what they called him, the Terror, and he did a pinup in the back of the book, and it was black and white, and that just, man. Let me see. Let me pull it up real quick. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I have to see if I have it myself. Because I may have it, I may not have it. Let's see. But you guys keep talking about it.
Yeah. Okay. So Ibai, tell us a little bit about your influences and inspirations
Hmm.
artistically. I mean, I know you were saying that you haven't really been drawing comics that long, but I'm sure that you've been drawing your whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I mean, comics were like my first love when it came to art. I mean, I remember my dad buying me floppies when I was a kid to console me after my parents forced me to go to like swimming classes, and I would hate it because it was really cold in the morning, even in the summer. So to make it up for it, my dad, who was also heavily into comics, bought me like I remember my first serious comic being Spider-Man. So as a kid, I wanted to draw comics. Then I grew up. Someone told me that comics didn't make any money, and movies were my second passion. So I thought, okay, I'll go to to art school or a fine arts college, or however you say it in the U.S. And I'll try and become a filmmaker. And I wrote a bunch of like short films, directed a bunch of short films. And someone told me, no, there's even less money to be made in movies in Spain. So I went back to making comics, and it's been like I think 12 years that I've been drawing comics, and only professionally, like because I've been drawing like everything, like fanzines and comic strips and whatever, and then like tiny joke type comics for magazines and whatnot. But it hasn't been until like maybe 7, maybe I think 10. Yeah, not even that. Like 7 years tops that I become like a professional artist, like a paid artist. And so yeah, I've been winging it my whole life because I never got any formal training, not even in art school, because everyone is a grifter there. They will charge you a shitload of money. They won't teach you anything. So I just tried to emulate what I saw in the comics that I liked when I became an artist. So I tried to be like, Kevin O'Neill and all the crazy British bastards from 2000 AD, like
Yeah.
Simon Beasley and Mike McMahon, all these guys. Because I've always been more like a stylized type of guy. I was never big on realism. I always thought that not to this on realist artist. I mean, you're free to do whatever you want, but I always thought that if you can take a picture of it, why bother drawing it?
No, that makes perfect sense,
Mm.
and I agree with that. It's that's why with my style, people look at it and they say, well, it's kind of realistic and it's kind of cartoony, and you know what, and I appreciate that because when I draw, it's like, well, I'm like you. If you wanted something to look realistic, you just take a picture of it and put it out there. Not, that's nothing to say against artists that draw that way.
Yeah.
But like a guy like Sean Martinborough, Sean Phillips, these guys, they draw a little bit more realistic, and it works for the style that they work in. They do a lot of noir style books, and that kind of works with that. But we're drawing comics, so we're drawing things that are not really real. Okay,
Right.
so you have to be able to have enough realism to draw, to at least let the people realize, okay, well, I know what this is, okay, and yet be able to be enough cartoony where you can take the and do your exaggerations, and take advantage of what comics is, which is a way to escapism, and just do really incredible
Yeah.
type things.
Yeah, I remember first realizing that when I was a kid and I read the Batman the movie adaptation drawn by Jerry Ordway, and I remember that I think I read the comic after I watched the movie, and I remember thinking some of the panels don't resemble the scene. Like for the last scene in the movie, Batman is just standing there, like straight up looking at the moon, and in the last panel of the comic, he's like swinging on the bathrobe through the buildings, and I was like, yeah, that this doesn't look like the movie, and technically it would be wrong. But then I realized, yeah, but this looks much cooler in a comic book. If
Mm.
you were to just draw Batman just standing up looking at the moon, it wouldn't have the same impact. And that's when I realized comics aren't supposed to be 100% realistic, even if the style is realistic. There always need to have some level of stylization, style, you know what I mean, to just look good on page, because it doesn't work the same. It doesn't have like the same physics in movie or comic book.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. There has to be a little bit of, I guess, what is it, poetic license or whatever
Yeah.
to that. Yeah, yeah. I definitely agree with that. And what the word you were looking for is stylization.
Yeah.
And stylizing it. So I like that page a lot. Yeah, so that's one of those things where you know it's it's just certain things that will work, like getting things across that are in real life. Hey, Stephanie Renee, how are you? That are in real life, right? And trying to do that in a film. I mean, it would be boring if you try to do it exactly like real life, right? Just like you take a picture of somebody doing, a sidekick, right? Well, okay, it's cool, but if you use, a 50 millimeter lens or whatever, it's going to really give you that feel that you're going for. And that's a feel that you can't get from just a regular lens. So that's the same thing. It's about the lens that you tell the story through. So that definitely something that I understand. Okay, so here's the picture that I'm talking about. So yeah, this is the one that did it for me, and I'm pretty sure you can see why.
Mm.
But yeah, I would sit after school because the way that I got this book was I was trading him, I think, a baseball card or something, and he didn't have what he had initially told me that he would exchange for it. So then he was like, "Well, I've got this comic book," and I was like, "Okay." And I bought this issue like at least 3 or 4 times because I've lost it before. But I would sit after school and just stare at this page for hours, you know, and I just look at every single line and try
Yeah,
to
I think I
understand.
think I think I think we all had like a pet illustration, so to speak, that we would look at constantly trying to like unravel its secrets, right? I know I have
Yeah,
a bunch of those.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, and so then it's funny, really, because if you look at this, right, and then the one artist that, even though like I liked so many different kinds of artists, John Romita Jr. and Joe Mad and all of these people that I even tried to like look at their stuff and emulate Lee Weeks, all of these, but it's this one here that is connected in my mind with Mark Bagley.
Yeah.
So so I guess it sort of like cemented something in my head, and I didn't realize how deep Mark Bagley's influence went. But it stems from that itself, because they have a very similar approach. So
Yeah, I think Mark Bagley was one of my first influences as well. Because I remember when I first visited New York City, I was like 13 years old with my parents, and I remember my mom bought me like a copy of Venom Lethal Protector issue 1, and I remember thinking that Venom looked really cool, like how Mark Bagley had like rendered the black shine on Venom's muscles. Like I probably had seen that before, but I never realized until that. And I thought this is really cool. And I remember trying to emulate that same effect. Like I would like dress my characters in black, like black leather or really black
yeah,
thing.
on purpose to try
Yeah,
to get
I'm gonna go full Mark Bagley on this bastard.
yeah exactly. As a matter of fact, I did. Let me see if I have it.
Excuse me, muchachos. I just got
I was
a
about
call.
to shut it down as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to bow out, man. But
Okay.
Ibai and Alex, hey, let's bang this out, guys. All right,
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
bang this
Definitely.
out. All right. So I'll do my best to spread the word out there, and let's we got 60 days to get this funded, so
Yeah.
we can
Definitely.
do it.
You can do it.
Let's go.
Appreciate everything. Appreciate all your work, man.
right.
Blessings to your family, because that's the background support to everything that you do.
That's the
That's-
core.
Yeah, and that's what gives us that great artwork. So then
All right, Andre.
I sit there and get mad because I just see you just doing the lines, doing like you don't stop, you just keep doing it, and there's no like it's like a machine, watching a machine do it, and I'm like, dang it, man, I wish I could do it that way. All right, man, take it easy.
I appreciate that. All right, man. Thanks a lot.
See you, man.
Buenas noches.
Muy buenas
All right.
noches.
All right, thank you. Well, let me see if I can find this. I don't even know if I have a copy of it here. It wasn't. It was just something that I did when that 30 or that Inktober or whatever it is. I was trying to do it, and it was one of the drawings that I did, and I was just. Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay. Let me see if I can go to message. Save image. Let's see if I can get this image to come up quick. Now, this was done on paper, so I was using a brush pen for the first time, and hold on, let me find the image first. Yeah, I was using a brush pen, and then I didn't have anything to go over the work because I was used to doing things digital, again at that point. And so then I was like, oh crap, how do I fix this? And I was like, I can't fix this, Let's see here. Why are there all these options up here? I don't need all that. Okay. All right, hold on, give me a second.
No, the suspense is killing me.
I know, right? Okay, here it is. Let me share the screen for that. So I messed up the kid's mouth, and he looks like he's like he has something special about him.
Yeah, good night. I think Jeremy Ironsman is leaving us for tonight. Okay. So good night, Jeremy. Sleep
Good night,
well.
Jeremy. Okay, here it is. So I at this point had not really been drawing but I had been taking dynamic sketching and stuff like that. So I started to draw again, and of course I totally messed up his mouth and his eyes. Like he looks like an alien, like a blub or whatever. But then I noticed, and when I was drawing it, I noticed the Nova when I was drawing him. I was like, that looks like Bagley, that looks
Right.
like, yeah. And I was like, dang, I didn't even realize that happened, like that I had been influenced that much.
That's
You
that's
know,
the beauty of style. I mean, you don't even try to draw like that. You just it like feels right to you, if you know
yeah,
what I mean. Your hand just moves the way you think it should move because you've seen people you admire do that. So I guess I'll just render the muscles that way. I just render the volume that way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was surprised, and this thing here that I'm doing, if you can see, like these little triangle point
Mhm.
things. And I don't know when that started for me, and this was back in the '90s though. But I just really liked doing that, and I had really gotten to a point where I developed a style doing that. I was really good back then, and I developed a style where I was doing that when I inked my stuff, and I just always I just kept doing it because I really liked doing it. But yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
why.
that's really Bagley. That's I think that's the shading I meant when I meant the way he rendered like the black parts of the anatomy. That's how
Yeah.
he did like the black
Yeah, so
dots and then
that probably is where I got it from. Everything. I got it all from him. Nova is like one of my other gosh, my all-time favorites. Because I remember cutting grass, and I finally got my father to take me to a comic book store. It's called Phoenix Comics, and he took me there, and Nova was worth pretty much nothing back then. Um, I think I bought each issue for like 75 cents a piece or something like that. And they had the entire um, first print of, I think it was like 26 issues
hmm.
of the Nova series
I,
during
I
that
lo-
time.
I love it when that happens when you find an
Yeah.
entire collection like at the bargain bin or whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, man, I'm gonna get up to my eyeballs on comic books with this one.
And that's one of the things that being in Comicsgate is like, it's this bittersweet thing of where we can bring that back, not just for everyone else, but for ourselves as well.
Mhm.
But it's bittersweet because then we think about where it came from and all of that influence, and then you realize it's gone, you know. And so, and not to be, I guess, melodramatic or anything, but it's like that's a burden or a weight to have to be that,
Mhm.
to have to be that now, like to have to be the ones to take that mantle, I guess, Uh,
Well, I think that's just the way of things. I mean, your heroes die, and if there's no one else to take their place, it's up to you.
yeah, yeah, you got that right. I mean,
Mhm.
somebody has to come in and fill those shoes. Every time Batman had, something going on, someone had to come in and take over, you know.
Yep. I mean, I would be delighted to read comics like the ones that I used to read when I was a kid. I mean, I'm still in love with stuff like but from Epic Comics from Marvel from the Epic line, which used to be like Max a couple of decades later.
Yeah,
But they just don't do those comics anymore. They just don't take risks. They don't experiment anymore. They're like really safe and
but
uninspired.
they can't because of what they did to themselves. You know,
Mhm.
they made it not viable anymore. You know, and that time when you're talking about like Epic and all that, that was when it was like what we are now, where it's like, oh my gosh, it's all this stuff, and this, oh man, there's so much to choose from, and and you want to get everything, you know. And that's something that comics has really been missing. And I think like looking at the anti CG, um, I guess mentality is that they know deep down that that is so strong, right? It's so strong that they're never going to be able to do anything that will take its place or will, uh, overshadow or overpower it. You know, they
Yeah,
won't
well,
be able to.
the beauty about anti CG is that they don't believe anything they say. Like
No,
like most SGWs. I mean, they know we're right. They know they're lying. But what are they going to do? I mean, they're basically the enforcers of a massive evil mega corporation. I mean, I
yeah,
think I can pinpoint the decadence of modern comic books. I mean, it's been a long process, long painful process, but I think that the last one of the last nails in the coffin was when Disney acquired Marvel, and all our fears came true. Like we were like, oh shit, they're gonna defang Marvel. Nothing original, nothing edgy is going to come from Marvel. It's going to be like a Disney movie. All Disney movies follow the same formula. They have the
and
same style. They don't take risks.
honestly, one of the thoughts that crossed my mind after that happened was like once they started making the movies, and then I realized, okay, well these are okay so far, but as more and more of the whole Disney aspect started to come out, and it's funny because my thought was, I was like, oh man, now I'm never gonna see Comet Man get made into a movie. You know, I
Hmm.
don't know if you read Comet Man, or
There,
remember
wasn't
it,
there like no, I saw the Meteor Man movie with
Meteor
like
Man, right?
Meteor Man with like
Like
this
Comet
town.
Man, Comet Man was, gosh, what is that guy's name? And his style is a lot like, uh, gosh, here let me just find. Let me look at. I mean, such a great character that it just never used, and I don't understand why. I mean, he was very powerful, but it wasn't even about his power. It was about the story itself, like
Mhm.
the tragedy of his life. And uh, let's see here. Uh, okay, so here, this is number one, and of course, somebody that we don't really care for did the covers, but here.
There's a problem with SJWs is that it's all about power to them. It's all about the dynamics of power relationships. So they think that people relate. That's cool. I like the drawings. That's really 90s,
Yeah,
like
but
late 80s, more like when
yeah,
they were
but you
like
know
being
who did that?
experimental
Who
stage.
who did these covers though?
Cool.
That freaking idiot, Sankovic or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Bill Sienkiewicz. Yeah,
Yeah, Sienkiewicz.
yeah. I used to love Sienkiewicz. He was,
Me
again,
too.
one of my influences. Like the really stylized,
Hmm.
weird, sketchy thing. Yeah, I used to love his style.
I like it. I liked it, and I like it because he influenced Dennis Cohen.
Hmm.
Uh,
I love
you know,
Dennis Cowan.
yeah, Dennis Cohen. Oh my! And I met him before. He is like so good. So good. There's the second
Yeah,
cover.
I love that style.
Yes, it's so good. And it's like how they're all like together, but you could still kind of separate them, you know what I mean?
Mm,
And it's also a way of making it look like there's more men there than there really is.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And again, on what we said earlier, that they had to learn how to work with limited resources. You can tell that they could use like the limited color palette, like
Yeah.
to adapt to the limitations and really make it really like come out of the page.
Yeah. And that's, let me see, bigger. No, it's not as big. Um, Yeah, that one was a good one too. He fought the Hulk in that one. But yeah, I mean, I was really disappointed. I was like, man, I don't think they're ever going to use that character. He would be great. Be a great tie-in with uh with Nova, you know. But let's go ahead and wrap it up, man, because I can hear you yawning, and I've been yawning. I gotta go
Yeah,
to work.
yeah.
Uh,
It's 4 a.m., man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
no, 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 no. Don't apologize. The Abductables too, ridiculous. Can't wait. Are you doing the artwork on this?
Oh yeah, of course. Not yet because I have like a shitload of
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
to do
yeah.
before. I'm supposed to be drawing Iron Size 3, but Zach hasn't contacted me yet. So
Oh, wow.
I'm just waiting on him.
Right. So that means I have to like, okay, because once that gets started, then you get, then there's like, you get sucked into that void.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. I guess it's one of the many disadvantages of being a really sought after artist right now.
yeah,
What can I say? I'm not popular.
yeah, right. So it says the abductee is back, and this time he's up against his deadliest enemy yet,
Mhm.
the reptilian. So I assume you know the story and everything already, right?
Yeah, well, I read the pitch, not the entire script. I don't think the script is still written, but Michael did something that I think every writer should do. Like, he sent me the pitch, like a plot, like
Uh-huh.
really, not really detailed, but like a quick summary of the plot and a Bible of the characters. Like, this is the main villain. This is how he looks. This is the dragon of the villain. This is like the friend of the main character, like the one like his Q. He's got like a really fat gray on his side now, the abductee, and he's called Blob. Jeremy here has been making plushies of Blob because
Yeah,
he likes the character. So yeah, so that's what he did. Like he sent me like a quick summary of the plot and a Bible of characters, and that really got me excited and got me like drawing concept and stuff. So I guess I will have something solid for this campaign relatively shortly.
okay. That's good, man. I can't wait. I love that first book. Man, it was so
Yeah,
good.
man, was probably one of my favorite stories of CG to work on.
Yeah, and especially you got to get your, little European situation going because um, they do a lot of space stories in
Oh
European
yeah,
comics, so
yeah. That
yeah.
I always say that was like one of those 2000 AD comics that I used to like as a kid. Like it was like a story that Simon Beasley could have been drawing in the 90s.
Well, it's what's so good about Johnny's Law, which everyone can go to deltaversecomics.com to go to the campaign for it on Indiegogo. And one of the things that's so good about him and his world is that he can he can exist in any of these stories. Like,
Mm.
and he could team up with US Agent and uh, um, what is it? Tech Force and Abductables. I mean, it could all just be that. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh!
because
Just imagine.
the first story is like really compact and doesn't tell you much about the world outside Johnny's like underworld setting of ninjas and gangsters and whatnot. So it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility that he could like team up with the abductee or with SOS or whatnot.
Oh yes, that's what I'm talking about,
I'm down. I'm down. Crossovers are the future, man.
dude. I'm telling you, gosh. But see, if we do that and we get him and the abductee together, there has to be that obligatory fight, to like they both got to start
Yeah, yeah,
swinging,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
and
those
got
those are the rules of the crossovers.
yeah, you got to do that. You got to fight each other first, and then they say, okay, all right, you cool? I'll roll with you, you know. And man, dude, it's just to see something like that. Oh man, that would be amazing. It would be amazing if there was a more lethal, right? With like there was some like in the future some sort of a sage or something like that that had
I
become.
mean, I'm not
Well,
averse.
I gotta stop because I'm gonna have all kind of ideas. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not against drawing a cyborg older Johnny, like a Johnny in his 60s, and he's part
Ooh,
cyborg, like like Johnny Beyond, something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, gosh. And that other one that I told you that we were doing called Daddy with the what's that technomancy
Mm,
power that he has, you know?
yep.
Yeah, with the riding the big chopper and yeah,
Yeah.
man, I'm telling you, dude, we put the oh man, I could just imagine all of that because it would be easy. Like with more lethal, it'd be easy. Like just starting with like billboards or whatever the signage, the futuristic signage is there. You know about the those battles, you know, and stuff like that, and just kind of like letting people know that it exists there.
Mm.
And then
Yeah,
you know,
I like to do that shit, right? I like to put like Easter eggs on my art, and
yes, I know that. That's why I put some in there because
mm,
I was like, yeah, he's gonna want to do that. So yeah, so definitely, you know what I would like to do, honestly, I would like to in one of the Johnny's Law. I have to talk to Michael about this, but in one of the next books, maybe this next one. I don't know if you know this or if you ever watched the movie Breaking. There was two of them, Breaking and Breaking Two, Electric Boogaloo.
no, I'm only familiar with Electric Boogaloo, but just because of I heard it on The Simpsons.
Okay, so here we're gonna do this one last thing before we go home.
All right.
I'm gonna show you here. Let's see. And this would be what do you call it? The abductee would be taking the place of this person. Okay, so let's see here. I want to see where he comes in because I don't want to run the whole clip or whatever. Because my internet is horrible.
Yeah, join the club, fam. I'm in Spain. Our internet is always horrible.
Okay, hold on. All right, so let that queue up a little bit and then let's get the share screen going. Okay, hold on. Okay, this one. And then let's see, hold on. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Go ahead and make that first here. Okay. Okay.
Get him!
Okay, so did you see who that was?
Yeah. So
Okay. It's
like a
Van Damme,
dance up.
right? Yes, but it's Van Damme in the background. This is before.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't notice him.
yeah. Look here, I'll do.
I was too dazzled by the dance moves. I didn't see.
Let me pull it back just a little bit. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, and then I won't play it. I'll just share it real quick. Let's see, share. Okay.
Oh shit, that's him. You're
Yeah,
right. Those
yeah,
cheekbones are unmistakable.
yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. Right? Is for him to like it'd be a like sort of a thing where the character, you know, my characters are walking off or something like that, and then he's there, you know, but it's the abductee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we see him, but maybe the majority of people who haven't read that, you know, they won't know who he is or whatever, right? But for us in CG, once you know, we look back and we know that the character exists now, so we'd be like, oh shoot, that's what's his name, you know? So that's kind of the idea that I'm having, you know, the thought that I would have about having it so that even if we didn't do like a crossover or whatever, or at least not right away, we could do some sort of a thing where it shows that he exists, So
Yeah. I mean, I'm not averse to that. I like Easter eggs, and I like the idea of like building up a universe, but the Marvel way, like really sadly, like with reference, like in the first Iron Man, how they reference like the super soldier serum and the X-Men's Blackbird, and all the nerds were like, "Oh wait, did you just reference the X-Men? That's so cool!" And then they build the entire universe apart from that.
yeah. But I like that we can do that, and that was kind of like the whole thing about Delta Verse, having this universe where our characters could interact with each other without in like a self-contained way, without actually messing with their own storylines.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, because I always thought that the Marvel thing was a bit too much because there is no reason why. Well, maybe more so the DC way, because there's no reason why Batman shouldn't be able to give Flash a call and, hey man, I'm trapped in this warehouse surrounded by gangsters. How about you just drop by and disarm them at light speed and make things easier for me? I never like that. So I like to have like I like to make like the team books and the crossovers like sparse, like they get together because of exceptional circumstances, but they
Which
don't really.
they did do well with that at first with the
Mm,
DC TV shows. They did do that kind
yeah,
of well at first, and then they kind of started getting into the whole political thing, and it's just
yeah,
like, it just kind of started sucking at that. But anyway, we could end up talking for like 5 more hours.
yeah.
So let's just go ahead and end the stream there. We launched. We had like 3 backers, and I think that that's that's a really good start. We didn't know exactly what was going to happen or how it was going to happen, but now we just let the ball roll.
Yeah, well, off to a good start.
Yeah, and we will keep it moving. All right, well, take it easy, man. Get some rest. I got to go to
Yeah,
work.
man, gonna hit the sack right now. Thanks for having me.
Oh, don't. This is, we're going to keep this going, dude. We got so
Cool,
much,
cool.
so much to do, not even with just this campaign, but with other books in general. Because,
Yep.
we're going
Yeah, I
to
gotta keep pimping that CG.
Yep. All right, man. Take
Anyway,
it easy. Go,
yeah,
go, go,
same
go.
man. Adios.
Adios. Later to everybody. Thank you for joining. Make sure to subscribe and like and share this out. The beginning was rocky, but once we got the guys in here, it really turned out well. So I appreciate that. And to those who backed the book, Michael and 7 of 9, and I can't remember the other person that backed, but thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And let's keep it going. Peace.